Hello, 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 and welcome back to Listen Up, presented by Dempsey's Grill and Sportsline. And oh man, guys, what a game! What a game today! Incredible game. Obviously, by myself here today. Phil, unfortunately, is out of town, and boy, did he miss a good game today. UConn defeating NC State, and I watched this game, and what an incredible game. I honestly I am a little bit in shock, to be honest, because I never thought that the outcome of this game or the final score would be the deficit that it was. UConn winning this game 91-69. Now it felt a little bit closer than what the final score says right there, but NC State put up a heck of a fight, but UConn just outlasted them, especially in the second half. They really took control, but UConn, of course, different starting lineup today due to Dorka Juhas being out with the broken thumb. Hopefully, we get her back after 3 games, but we'll just have to see what updates we have on her in the upcoming weeks. But Aubrey Griffin took her spot in the starting lineup, which was to be expected. No surprise there that Aubrey Griffin gets a lot of minutes today in this game. Now, the game was actually delayed due to a member of UConn's coaching staff needing medical attention, and that member was Chris Daly, incredible assistant head coach next to Gino. She's been here for a really, really long time. Came in when alongside Gino, I believe, at the same time Gino did. So, but she left on a stretcher. She was smiling and waving to the crowd there in stores. So hopefully she is okay. Thoughts and prayers go out to her. Obviously, a very emotional moment to start the game for UConn. It's kind of something. It's hard to come back out onto the court after seeing something like that. A couple of the players in tears, but they went out for her in today's game, that's for sure, and got the victory for Coach Daly. But UConn came out on fire in this game. Aaliyah getting a bucket, AZ hitting a three. Aubrey Griffin let her presence be known down low early in this game, set the tone for UConn, in my opinion. She played great defense. UConn had a full court press on to start the game, and that really disrupted NC State. UConn went on a 9-0 run. NC State took a timeout. They settled in a little bit, made some shots, but then Aubrey Griffin yet again got back-to-back steals, took it down the court, back-to-back buckets. That was something special to watch. What Aubrey Griffin did today. UConn all around playing very solid defense, which is what we expect. Yet again, playing very solid defense, which is kind of the mold of their team. It's what they need to do to win ball games. But AZ Fudd continued to make shots with ease. UConn was up by 10 at the end of the first. Now, in the second quarter, we saw the momentum switch a little bit onto the NC State side. UConn looked a little lost on offense. They couldn't really get any plays set on defense. They were letting Diamond Johnson wide open from 3-point range, which is never good. UConn scrambling around. The Huskies not getting defensive rebounds either to start the second quarter. Players just kind of standing around, not boxing out, which is very unusual to see from UConn. But luckily UConn has a player named AZ Fudd. She hit a couple of threes, had 22 points at halftime, and both teams went on offensive droughts. Neither team could really make a shot there. But UConn finished halftime with a little momentum, got a couple steals, defense making up for the lack of offense. Aaliyah Edwards got a layup at the buzzer to put UConn up by 7 points. Now, this was pretty interesting. At 7:04 in the third quarter was the first time a player other than AZ, Aaliyah, or Aubrey scored points. Lou Lopez hit a three in the third quarter, and I think that UConn started to get a little more aggressive in the third quarter because they definitely needed Lou Lopez or somebody to step up besides Aaliyah, AZ, and Aubrey scoring all the points for UConn. But thanks to Lou heating up, she scored 12 points in that third quarter, and UConn kind of took control from there. Kind of midway through the third quarter, I think, is really when they set their tone. Defensively, got back to getting a couple more rebounds, cleaning up the boards, getting more aggressive. Lou, like I mentioned, scored 12 points, and UConn grew their lead to 19 points. And UConn really just finished the job in the fourth quarter. A good job finishing the game, not allowing NC State to get back into the game at all. Just an incredible job by everybody, in my opinion. Incredible game. AZ Fudd, 32 points, 6 3-pointers made. Nika Mule, program record, 15 assists. Yes, she set a UConn women's basketball program record for assists. Unreal. That Nika Mule, I don't know what else to say about Nika Mule. Her defense, I say it every game recap, almost every time we go on in this podcast. Her defensive presence is unreal, and especially with Paige Beckers out this season, obviously Nika Mule is going to have a bulk of the she's going to have the ball in her hands a lot, taking it up the court, setting the plays, and obviously passing a lot. And that's what she made a lot of good passes today, getting 15 assists and setting a program record. Unreal game from Nika Mule. Aaliyah Edwards as well, 20 points, 12 rebounds. Yet another double-double for Aaliyah. Great game out of her. And Aubrey Griffin, 16 points and 6 steals, a career high in steals for Aubrey. And in my opinion, she was the player of the game. You could pick about 5 different players and make an argument that they should have won player of the game, which is a great problem to have, right? But I just think Aubrey stepping up to the occasion, going into the starting lineup, making an immediate impact defensively, getting rebounds, creating turnovers, and getting steals. She scored a quiet 16 points, in my opinion, and those 6 steals, just her presence defensively down low, creating havoc for NC State, is really what came down to my decision and naming her the player of the game. But I mean, you can make an argument for AZ, Lou, Nika, Aaliyah. They all had very, very good games as well. But huge matchup as well going on right now. I wanted to mention this. Number 1 seed South Carolina going up against the number 2 seed Stanford. Now it's going to be interesting. I believe we're going to be back on tomorrow morning. Hopefully Phil will be with me for that one. But tomorrow morning or tomorrow evening, afternoon, whenever they release the AP poll, we're going to be on for and have an episode about the AP poll, because now I think with UConn handling the Wolfpack pretty convincingly here today. I think depending on what happens between South Carolina and Stanford, whichever team wins that game is obviously going to be number 1. And I think with UConn beating number 3 Texas, and especially now handling number 10 NC State, UConn, I don't see how they don't move up to number 2 in the AP poll, but we'll just have to see. But in my opinion, obviously the winner is South Carolina, and Stanford will be the number 1 seed. And UConn, I think they deserve to be the number 2 seed after these 3 wins and back-to-back wins against top 10 opponents. But what a game, 91-69 victory. I'll go over a couple comments from the last video here. Let's see. Let's pick a couple here. Paige Chung says, I really enjoy your videos, channel, and podcast. Keep it up. I was just enjoying my cool Saturday evening, and then I saw this, like, in all capital letters, why, LOL. Also, definitely Aubrey Griffin for starting lineup, and will be exciting to see Amari DeBerry get more minutes. Well, I don't think Amari DeBerry saw any minutes in this game. I do not think she touched the floor in this game. And Ines Betancourt didn't either. She did not enter the game either, which is very interesting, because I thought that Amari would get more minutes in this game, but Ayana saw a couple minutes. She played pretty good, got some rebounds and a couple points there, I believe. But yeah, pretty interesting that Amari didn't see any minutes with Dorka Juhas being out, and especially because UConn, they built such a big lead there in the 4th quarter. I thought Gino would put the reserves in, which would be Amari and Ines in. But either way, yeah, Amari, Aubrey Griffin coming into the starting lineup. She did an amazing job today. So yeah, thank you for the comment, Paige. And Iva says, let's go to the next one. Iva says, you can clearly see the moment in game where Dorka injured her finger. If UConn bigs are not in foul trouble and game is close, I don't think we will see DeBerry play. It will be a tough game. If they lose, they will learn a lot. But if they win, that will send a statement to everybody that is doubting them. Well, for yeah, and going back to that game, I couldn't tell, or I said yesterday in that podcast that I didn't see Dorka get injured. But I do remember now. I don't know if Dorka went up for a rebound or for a layup, but I remember kind of like shaking her hand, and I think she did have it wrapped there later in the game. So it's just kind of interesting. We didn't hear the news until Saturday, but now that I remember a little bit more of that game, I definitely do see remember her kind of a little discomfort in her hand there. But either way. UConn bigs, yeah, they didn't really get into foul trouble. Aaliyah picked up a couple fouls there earlier in the game, but mostly a good job for them, not really committing a lot of fouls. And yeah, I mean, DeBerry, she was right about DeBerry. Very good comment there from Iva. DeBerry did not play in this game, but it wasn't a close game, especially in the fourth quarter. It's just that Gino just didn't put her in, which I think a lot of you guys thought, especially including myself, I thought Amari would see minutes in this game, but she didn't. So a little bit of a question there as to why Gino didn't put her in with such a big lead. But either way, heck of a game from UConn, and everybody that's doubting UConn now, especially after these two back-to-back wins versus top 10 teams. And with UConn, I would certainly think they're going to be number 2 in the country tomorrow when that AP poll does come out. If there's any doubters left, I don't know what they're doubting about this UConn team, because without Paige and losing Ice Brady, and now without Dorka Juhas, and the way they were able to handle NC State here today, making another statement win. They already made one earlier this week against Texas and beating NC State here. I just don't see how you could doubt this team any longer. But in the third and final comment, I'll go over here and then I'll sign off for today. I read this one's kind of funny. I thought this one was kind of funny. It's from Michael Lawson. He goes, Paige is a goofy cousin that you don't want to leave during the holidays. When the parents pick up that goofy cousin, you cry and hate to see her go home. Appreciate the comment, Michael. I don't know what I don't know what he was thinking when he made that comment. I don't know what that translates to for what we said, what we're talking about yesterday. But I appreciate your humor. It kind of reminds me of Phil a little bit as the goofy cousin. But either way, Paige is definitely enjoying herself and making the most of kind of just out of this injury, I guess you could say, on the bench. It's fun to watch her cheer on her teammates, and her and Nika especially have such a great bond and relationship. You can really see it there on the sidelines and on the bench. But Coach P definitely doing a good job helping Gino and the coaching staff cheer on the players and her teammates, of course. But wow, what a game here from UConn today. Like I said, we'll be back on tomorrow afternoon, evening, sometime after the AP poll comes out for week 2. And like I said, the winner of South Carolina, Stanford, obviously I would think they would be number 1. Texas, NC State's going to go down. I would expect Iowa to go down as well. I believe they lost. Louisville is another team that got upset too. A lot of upsets, which is very unusual for women's college basketball, especially this early in the season. But I would expect UConn to be number 2. We'll have to see when that AP poll comes out tomorrow. But 2 very big wins from UConn this week over number 3 ranked Texas and number 3 ranked NC State. So incredible game from UConn here today. And I will be back on tomorrow with Phil going over the AP poll. So this has been Rye on Listen Up. Thanks for watching, guys.